May there be happiness for all. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace for all. So this, happiness. Last time I told you mindfulness. So we're from happy to happiness. Happiness is the inherent nature. So we are calling the mind, why don't you pick up that happiness, peacefulness, completeness? You see? Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. I am complete. Means what? I'm not running after any one situation to demand, because when my demand is not met, I will be disturbed. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. May there be auspiciousness. Now you can easily understand thisness. Open your eyes. Pay attention. Listen to it. What we have been doing in the last few months, that we are removing all the obstacles so that the six treasures which is already there in me should manifest. It is not that the peace has gone somewhere, it is already there. And it takes a long time. So it's a curtain remover. These six treasures are already localized manifestations of the real self. When I say six treasures, the peace is my essential nature, happiness is my essential nature. So obviously, it is essential. It is localized manifestation of the real self. Are you paying attention? Six treasures are already there. Like the calmness is already there when you enter home. So what exactly we are doing? You have to contemplate and reflect what I'm going to say. The state of the world outside, situation, people, relationship, events, then mood and the mode of the mind. We covered all those aspects. There are two things: the condition, event, situation, relationship, plus mood and the mode of the mind outside, and the state of the mind. Mind is good, even you convert adversity into an opportunity, pain into an endurance, happiness as an appreciation. Thanks God. Two things: situation outside, situation inside. Just I'm giving an example. I'm using the word situation outside, situation of the mind inside. So when the situation of the mind, or you can say mode and the mood of the mind, is influenced, dictated by the external situations, we are preventing this by the different set of practices. If you prevent that, if you are not dictated by the world outside, I believe you are understanding. If you are not dictated by any situation in the world outside, you can open the door to the six treasures. What will happen there? Can you guess? Then your mind, with the right, proper, and good mood and the mode, will think, speak, and act in any situation, in any condition, with anyone. Then you are happy. You are happy before acting. You are happy during the action. You are happy after. But because we are deadly influenced and dictated by the people relationship outside, why? Because of ego, because of the impurity, because of the attachment. So it means I have to get rid of the impurity. I have to apply the discernment. I have to apply the dispassion. I have to bring the clarity. And once all these are there, I did not talk about the six treasures. I only talked that you remove these factors. When you remove these factors, even if you have a pain, you say, it's okay, it's a pain in the body. Let me endure it. What is the ultimate goal? Ultimate goal is awakening. And last time we discussed mindfulness, peacefulness, happiness, wholeness. Means there is a isness. What is isness? Is existence. It is known as Sat. So Sat is always consciousness. So that is why we say existence consciousness. And because it is isness, it is eternal, it is all pervading, it is non-changing, and it is consciousness, hence it is full of bliss. That is our nature. That is the real self. So we are moving slowly to that, in that direction. So isness. Now apply this isness. Is it possible? Bankfulness. Your bank, current account and the saving account. No, it cannot be fullness. It increases, it decreases. You are subjected by any disease. Oh, what will happen to my bank account? Now it is empty. It will become empty because of treatment of a disease. You don't think that you have the wealth, and that is why you are able to treat the disease. But we have worries. So which can be broken into parts, and I want to achieve that. There you go too far from the isness. Like bankfulness, tastefulness, there is no tastefulness. Sensualness, I'm using a wrong language for the right reason. Sensualness, it is not there. It comes and it goes. Taste comes and goes. Bank comes and goes. They are in parts. But mindfulness, happiness, peacefulness, can you change? It gives you an understanding of the wholeness. So wave in the water, so that water is in fullness. Wave cannot be. Why? The wave is just the object of name in the form. Anything that is object of name in the form depends on isness. Isness is there. Isness always there. Isness will remain there. The wave will rise and fall. Situation will change. Event will change. Relationship will change. But that factor of mindfulness is not going to change. That is why we say mindfulness. Whether you say meditation, it is also the same thing. People here, they use their own intellect. They don't go by the knowledge of the Eastern wisdom. They use their own intellect as if they have created meditation and they have created mind. The main theme today is that you are processing the information and the knowledge to get rid of the impact on the mind that it receives from the world outside. It receives that impact because of impurity. because of lack of thinking, because of lack of discernment. And that is why, because of lack of 8 steps, because of consistent listening and learning these principles, contemplation and reflection, so that the intellect is settled in these principles, and then you recognize that you cannot create any meditation or mindfulness practice. It is based on the knowledge of the East and West. We start differentiating between the two. So you see, you remembered Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, listening and learning, contemplation, practice. Then I have to check the change in behavior and attitude towards the external situation. Means I want to discover that mood and the mood of the mind which recognizes these 6 treasures. That is the working we have been doing it. That is why I did not define what exactly are these 6 treasures. We are going to understand. But pay attention to these steps. If you follow these steps daily and regularly, you can find out. You can start living into them. Then from your experience of these 6 treasures, you can explain it easily. Easy way to understand, again, I'm summarizing. We have 6 enemies and the 6 treasures. What is the opposite antonym of treasure? I don't know, but let us take it as enemies. I don't remember. So 6 enemies are binding desire. Binding desire, I am seeking approval from you. I'm attached to you. I like you and I continue to like you even if you disappear. Means I like the food. Taste remains for 10-15 minutes. Binding desire. Binding desire because of the likes and dislikes, because of the attachment and detachment, and because of the projection. A lot of steps are there. So Master summarizes. Second, because of the desire, there is an hesitation in the mind. I want to achieve this, or whether I will get it or I don't get it. It happens, when we first time we meet a boy and a girl, I'm attracted, or whether he or she will talk to me or not. Trigger. A sense of anxiety is there. So anxiety and hesitation is there. So when the desire is not fulfilled, that hesitation and anxiety converts into an anger, or you can say the stress. So that is again a binding desire, not fulfilled, is the second enemy. My attachment is not, I did not meet my expectations, I am agitated. My expectations are met, so I want more and more. That is what we say, the greed. So any greed outside will hold back the situation, event, and relationship outside. It means I'm dictated by the external situations. Who is responsible? I am. How to get rid of it? That is what we have been doing it. So once you have the 3 factors in your life, what are the 3 factors? The binding desire, hesitation, and the greed. It creates a curtain, and that curtain is known as the delusion, in which you don't see what is real, you see what is false. My honey, not only in this birth, in the next 7 births, we will be together. First manage your this birth, then you have to see the 7th birth. Delusion. So now the 4 enemies: binding desire, hesitation, greed. Ashok, you are sitting alone or you are sitting with your honey? Oh, no, no, you are sleeping. No, keep on sleeping. No, no problem. No issue. So binding desire, anxiety, greed, delusion. So once we live into that delusion, that gives you the results into the pride. Redefine your pride and ego. In the delusion, we have a pride. And that pride, the sixth enemy, is known as the jealousy. Jealous. So when you do all the 8 steps, you follow the teaching of the masters, not mine. Listening, learning, contemplation, reflection. You continue to observe the changes in your behavior and attitude. It opens to the 6 treasures. We have already understood those 6 treasures. Sama is peace of the mind, Dhamma is peace of the sense organs, Titiksha is endurance and resilience in times of the unfavorable situation outside, and Uparati, you are able to transcend the pain and the pleasure of the world outside. And faith, trust. So now your mind goes back to these principles. It says, no, where is that principle? Let me have resilience in this situation. Let me have the endurance. You're not impacted. I explained you mode and the mood of the mind inside. There is one internal state that if that is subjected to any form of influence from the world outside, you will miss these 6 stresses. How not to be impacted, we have already discussed. We have been discussing for the last almost 3 and 4 months. Samadhanam, the solution, the solution. We are changing we are following the direction that what are the impediments, what are the obstacles, why we why we are not able to recognize these 6 treasures. Let us get rid of those let us get rid of all those factors. So once you get rid of those factors, it will bring about a change in your behavior and attitude daily. It will bring the mindfulness in your thought, speech, and action. You will be able to transcend, say, you're communicating to a person, mind says he is crazy. But now, mind, you have changed the mood and the mode of the mind. So you transcend the name in the form. You're talking to a person with the state of mindfulness. That person may be your mom, maybe your dad, your honey, your soul, but you're talking objectively. Internal state remains the same. So when you experience these 6 treasures, any one treasure, they are the indicators of progress on the spiritual path. They are indicators. And the 8-step systematic approach that I discussed again and again and again, that also covers most of these steps. Consistency is very important. To recognize that calmness is the inherent natural state. It is inherent natural state. How I gave you an example of that. Sweetness of a sugar, the sweet cannot be salty. Sugar, cubes, powder, other name in the form, they are the name in the form. That is the shape, the wave. And what is the ness? Isness in the sugar? It is the sweetness. It is the saltiness in the salt. Every object, you show me any object, it has its isness. So when my friends, if you are consistent with the Mangalacharan in the morning, you remember the ultimate goal. My ultimate goal is to reach to that state of awakening and realization of the real self. So you define every day, you check every day, am I a seeker? I told you, my masters, I never forget, once a seeker, always a seeker. That can remove your laziness and sleepiness also. But at least, those who sleep in my session, at least, they are relaxing. So I enjoy that. I have no problem. They are not sleeping by drinking, after they are sleeping while listening to me. So it means my voice is very sweet. That is why you fall into sleep. Thanks God. So ultimately, that is the goal. Let us come to our discussion part. So ask yourself, why 8 steps? Why Mangalacharan daily in my life? Why? Oh, why Shravanam? Why listening, learning, contemplation, reflection? Why? Why? Ask yourself, answer. Let the answer come from your mind, and that will change the perspective. Yes, who is going to take over?
I feel like, it's called a practice for a reason. And it's when you compare it or use the metaphor of an athlete, winning a big trophy or whatever championship or what have you, the practice that goes into that effort is like phenomenal. And it's daily practice to make whether it's a tennis player, a golfer, or whatever it is. And I think that, to continue becoming a deeper seeker, we need that constant practice forever. And it's not like, okay, we're there, we're done. This is like a lifetime practice.
Yes, it's a lifetime practice, David, because who knows what will be the situation outside tomorrow, next hour, how my honey is going to behave and act. So one way you can say it's a lifetime practice, but what happens gradually and progressively, these attributes and these traits become as a part of your mind. The mood and the mood of the mind is not impacted because of these practices. It becomes natural.
We just watched a championship golf tournament this past weekend, and the champion golfer, he on one hole hits it in the water, and a lot of people would be devastated. Oh my God! But the true professional, the true elite, just convert that into a superpower to continue on and achieve what they need to achieve. So there's that conversion aspect of the negative things that occur.
Yes, beautifully said. Beautifully said. Yes, Jerry, you want to share?
Thank you, sir. Just short. I think that I always like to think of all the things that happen in the outside world are opportunities. And the mind really does already think that. So I have a lot of that piece. My mind's available, my senses are available. Sometimes the samskaras, the old impressions will creep up. And those are opportunities for me to know where I'm still a little stuck and have to grow and evolve.
Good and bad situations, adversities, problems in this suffering are all opportunities. So you can extract peace out of that, good and bad opportunities. There you see, one master compared it when I just remember. You know, there is an arrow, bow and arrow. So the arrow goes into the situation or a person, and you can extract it. Then there is another, do you know sickle? Sickle, is like, turning. So our binding desire is like a sickle. You throw it on the other person, and you cannot remove it. You cannot remove it. And that causes a lot of anxiety. Why he did not respect me? Why he did not? You see, sickle. Situation is outside. How are you, Stephen?
That's fair. Thank you. I've been doing a lot of contemplating, reflecting this week, especially after the analogy you used on Monday about the opening the door to the six treasures, and it started stirring the one words of desire, delusion, the path, consistency, and all these single words just kept popping into my mind. And at first I started getting annoyed by the fact that all of this was going on. And I then took an opportunity to think back to you're objectifying the triangle to get us to focus. And I said, okay, how can I objectify my mind? And I came up with the fact that my mind is a radio and it has different stations, and I can decide I own it. I'm the one listening to it. So it's my choice to choose between it. And when I was able to do that, objectifying the mind itself, I was able to turn off all of the thoughts, and the single word started to bring me to where we are today. Was that the listening, learning, contemplation, reflection, the practice is a path of self-discovery, a heightened awareness, to understand that there's a separation between the inner world and the outer world. And the outer world, I have nothing that I could do to or for it other than how I respond to it, but I have full control of the inner world, like I have the full control of my radio. And it's now taking me down to where understanding those and that self-discovery is what potentially opens the door to the six treasures, because once you learn to live inside instead of outside, those six treasures are what you call the knowledge is revealed. And having today's lesson, maybe that's what I wanted to hear, but I think I'm on the right path for that. So
beautiful. You rightly said, you simply remember, repeat it in your mind. Listening, learning, contemplation, reflection, practice, discernment, discretion, 8 steps, binding desire. You just remember those words. So you are bringing your mind into that fold of awareness, and that will remind you the entire talk and understanding. That is what, Stephen is saying, and that is also a wonderful way to to progress. You want to, anger is inside, hesitation is inside, maybe to your soulmate, but discernment. This is one of the 6 enemies. Should I do it? No. It happens. But the most beautiful thing that you should never forget, which he pointed out, I told you that a lot of stuff, noise is going outside your house, and you move inside, close the door. You need not to introduce the calmness. Calmness is already there. So we are moving inside. We are understanding how to move inside and reach there. How are you, Dennis?
The way I understand it, isness is the state of being. It is what
Yeah.
makes us alive and conscious, because being is consciousness and consciousness is being. But we don't perceive ourselves as consciousness. We trust our limited sense organs that perceive being in the form of a body. So we identify ourselves with the body, and that is what the delusion is. Then our ego strengthens this delusion with the help of six enemies.
Beautiful.
And when we understand the mechanics of this process, how it works by contemplating, reflecting, and practicing, we weaken these six enemies. The hold of the ego becomes also weaker, and the six treasures start manifesting. And six treasures, like you mentioned in the beginning, are localized manifestation of the real self that allow us to expand our experience and perception beyond ego, beyond sense organs, and beyond the mind.
Beautifully said. They are the localized manifestations. And you started commenting that isness is the state of being. That being is consciousness. And that consciousness is the bliss. That is what we have been saying. That what is real self? Real self is existence, consciousness, bliss. What is existence? It is the state of being. But state of being does not mean that it is not conscious. So it is conscious, hence it is consciousness. And it is infinite. So when you find that expansion of infinity, you are into that nature of the bliss. Another way, beautiful summarization. By Dennis, how are you, Brandy?
I'm fine, thank you. My understanding is similar to Dennis's in that everything has an isness, including our name and form, and the way that we circumvent the issues that come along, the inherent issues that come along with that isness, is through daily practice and separation from it, with the understanding that we're not the isness.
Yes, that is beautiful. Isness is always there. So we have understood it intellectually. How to recognize and experience that, that is what we have been talking about. How are you, Barbara?
I'm very good, thank you. Thank you, Dennis, for summarizing it up so beautifully. The more I think about it, the more I realize I still have a lot of work to do.
That is the perfect example of being a seeker. The seeker always wants to do something. I always like to express these principles in variety of ways, as many ways as possible. And I check and I always ask, mind, how come you are so limited, confined? Can you give another expression? So that is beautiful. Lot of work to do. Recognize those areas, start changing. Vaibhav.
Thank you, sir. My today's understanding is like with my own experience that we have been taught like the happiness lies in when we achieve something. When then there's achievement, then the happiness lies. But during the process when we are not achieving anything, there's the long time there, and mind feel agitated, like what to do next to achieve something. And it that is the six enemies that we are dealing here right now. Like
Yeah.
There's one step to another step to next step to what we should do, and the whole agitation is there. And
Yes.
how to be happy in the phase where there's no achievement, but I'm still there. And there also we need to be happy. And how do we achieve that? With the 6 treasures, we can get that happiness during that phase also.
Isness is always there. Isness is where there is isness, I'm happy. So it means happiness there, mindfulness there, peacefulness there. It is always there. It is always there in me, and I'm searching outside. That causes the 6 enemies. Beautifully said. Carrie, you want to say something?
I don't think I could add anything to what has been said.
Good. We have to contemplate and reflect. Let us close your eyes. Move to the stage 1 of meditation. Place, position, and posture. I'm giving you some time. Self-awareness. I'm using the words as Stephen said. So are you self-aware or are you falling into sleep? But those who feel my voice is so sweet, obviously will fall into sleep. That is good. So it means I'm contributing to your life. And so place of the body, position, and posture. Self-awareness. Again, I'm making it more pragmatic. I notice the place of the body, sensation, position of the body, sensation, posture, and then I notice the entire body from the top of the head to the toes. I notice and observe and experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness. See that? In the stage 1 is purely passive. It recalls the isness. You cannot say these are the preparatory steps. These are very advanced steps. But yes, we have a notion that these are the preparatory steps. So we say, okay. I also say, okay, but gradually when you become a seeker, I say these are very advanced. Being carefree. I told you being carefree is you are an observer, and observed is separate from the observer. That is why many of you discussed by sharing your thoughts objectivity. Isness is pure subjectivity. So what it means, I observe, thoughts are coming and going. So I am an observer and thoughts are observed, the objects. I feel the sensation that is being carefree. So once you get a little of that self-awareness or objectivity or separation, you are carefree. In that state, you can extract the essence of the Mangalacharana. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. May there be happiness for all. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. You should get emotional, man. Said, where, peace, my friend, where are you? We invite, where is my stress? Sarvesham Puranam Bhavatu. May there be completeness in all. I'm not speaking more. We have already discussed in the very beginning. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Luckily, we have in all the 4 aspects 4 lines of this mantra: happiness, isness, peace, peacefulness, isness, completeness, isness, auspiciousness, isness is there. I experience peace with reference to an object. I experience peacefulness with reference to the subject. That is what the meditation is. That is why we say that mindfulness is not a practice or any meditation. Just for a few minutes to be into that state of being, become aware of the first neighbor. First neighbor is the world outside. They all are the state of becoming. So where there you see the state of becoming, you recognize it and leave it. That is the meaning of leaving the home. We are still in the last step of the stage number 1. Check the body. Second neighbor is the body. Keeps on changing. Where there is a change, it is in the becoming process. Whether we can hasten that process, whether we can stop this process. Third neighbor is the energy, is also moving the prana. It is in the state of becoming, but I'm looking after the state of being. Fourth neighbor is the mind, likes, dislikes, attachment, detachment. And that is one aspect of mind and the mood of the mind with reference to the situation outside. Now you drop all the situations. There is no like, dislike, attachment, detachment. Then from that point of view, you look at the mind. What happens? You can reflect the state of being, the isness in the mind. You know, you see that intellectually it looks so simple to achieve. And the fifth neighbor is the intellect and I-ness. I am the body, mind, and all the 6 neighbors. It is the state of becoming. I am the real self. Beyond it is the state of being and isness. You enter inside the home, isness. You move outside, becoming process. Now we'll move to the second stage where you can say it is a active process of. So there we want to inspire the mind to continue with the 8 steps plus some purification. So you are looking deep inside the forehead in the space. And why I say so, pay attention that you hold on to one point in that darkness of the space. It is damn difficult. But we are doing everything that is difficult. Seems impossible. So what happens if your focus remains on a point in the darkness or the blankness, your mind expands to the darkness. In that moment, you start breathing long, deep in the hissing breath into your belly. But you remember everything of this belly breathing. The belly expands like a balloon. It is must. Why the right practice is a must. Your whole body is not shaking, only the belly. And what did I tell you? I told you oxygen concentration increases. Carbon dioxide concentration luckily also increases their concentration, and they both seems to stimulate the respiratory center in the brain, which makes you feel like freshness. You know, we have peripheral receptors and chemoreceptors, they undergo a change when you change the breathing for minimum 3 minutes. But if you do it longer, you can sustain that change. So we will be going after that practice of meditation in few weeks. So it becomes almost like an irreversible process. So continue long, deep, prolonged, deep, hissing breath into your belly, paying attention to your belly. I also discussed many times that you may feel the mind says, no, I cannot do it. That is an obstacle. Mind is attached to the body, so it restricts how you do it. You continue doing it, you sustain it, there the resilience comes, endurance comes. Continue breathing. It is not that, no, I have not practiced, so I cannot do it. No, you can do it. Mind is the main factor. And now stop this breathing, check the flow of the breath. The flow of the breath in the presence. And in that flow of the breath, change the rate and the rhythm of the breath again to deep, silent, slow. But now we are doing the nyasa. I named this practice. This step is a nyasa. So, point of awareness number 1, deep, silent, slow breathing. How you do it? Point number 2, awareness. That you inhale first into the belly, then into the ribcage, breathing out from the belly, then from the ribcage. Point number 3, awareness. As you inhale, you move the mind from the top center of the head into the spine, reaching to the tailbone. And while breathing out from the tailbone, it reaches to the center top of the head from the spine. Point of awareness 4. As you inhale, mind moves. You sing mentally, Shanti. As the last bit of sound of Shanti hits the tailbone, and while breathing out, during exhalation, you also sing Om starts at the tailbone and Shanti hits at the top center of the head. It is deep, it is silent, it is slow, it is rhythmic. So just reflect on it. What happens when we do this practice with 4-pointed awareness? The mind is inside, in the space, it imagines or recognizes the spine. Mind moves on the spine, it sings Om Shanti. Why? This is part of this step is from the Tantra yoga. Continue. That is the stage number 2. So now you have to remind yourself that which stage you can do it easily and which stage you cannot do it easily, so that you can pay more attention. I'm making this practice your practice. I just say that I have not given you any practice. If we do all the steps, minimum for a period of 5 minutes, almost there are 14 steps, it becomes a practice of 70 minutes. We are going to do one day or couple of days. And I'll leave this. We move to the third stage, where we raise our level of self-awareness, flow of the breath. You're just aware of the flow of the breath goes in and out. Remember, recognize. In modern psychology, we say cognize. Same thing. Recognize the flow of the breath through the nostrils. And body is in the state of stillness. And that helps the mind to live within. And in turn, that also helps the sense organ to be within. With that awareness, you start dropping Shanti on the 16 segments of the fingers naturally. Don't make any effort. Carry the Om Shanti. Finish. As if you remember. What that means? You remember, you see the segment mentally and you remember Om Shanti. It is not a segment, it is not a line, it is Om Shanti. That level of absorption comes. Here, this absorption is beneficial. Outside, when we say two bodies, one soul, that is an extreme attachment. Because mind is outside. It depends on outer factors. So in the third stage, there is a checking of the flow of the breath. We drop Om Shanti on 16 segments. And the third step of the stage 3 is triangle one. I'll help you remember all these steps by yourself. So you will be able to recognize which step you fail to do, and that fails the meditation. You are your own teacher then. Now, leave this step, move the mind inside the heart, visualize the triangle of any color, equilateral triangle. I understand. Pointing upward, move the mind on the side of a triangle, dropping Om Shanti, clockwise and anti-clockwise alternatively to so when we find there is a sync, that is the moment we are moving into the stage 4. Transition from the stage 3 to stage 4 is the moment you find that sync, you sing loudly, mentally, pushing the mind deep inside the cave of your heart. Mind seems to stop and you drop Shanti. You enter into the stage 4. What it means, you have dropped the default mind and you have entered into the discerning intellect. What that means? Discerning intellect, when it reaches at its height, summit, you don't see the other. Other is different and separate. That is another meaning of self-absorption. In that state, you may have experiences, vision, and colors, sometimes images. We do not get carried away. We watch, feel, come, and go. And ultimately, it settles into your self absorption. So, in stage 4 also, we have two steps at this moment. I'll be adding more. One is self absorption and waiting, and the other is with the discerning intellect, we are seeing what is happening. So obviously, happening versus doing. Doing, you are not doing. So happening at level of 6 neighbors, I explained you, or happening at, can I say, isness? Yes. That leads to awakening. And in the stage 5, we have a chanting. So either you can chant loudly or mentally with me. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. You recited mentally, you heard it, and then you just for a few seconds, you see what is the state now? What is the state now? And how it is different, how different it is from the beginning of a session. That will help you a great deal, because when you compare and analyze, no, I'm doing meditation, I will not even think of anything, then you are crazy. That is not meditation. Past impressions will continue to remain. And then we recollect. So returning is also recollecting. You see that how we return? Just pay attention. Returning steps. What I say, that you bring the mind on the right hand. You are aware. But that awareness of the hand is, your experience is different. Bring your mind on the left hand. Lift your both your palms, place it on your eyes like a cup. Open the eyes inside and stay there for a while. Your eyes are open, you return, but you there you recollect your experiences and then bring the hands down. We will share our experiences, David and Jerry.
Thank you. Each step or stage, I just felt this deeper, and I was able to use the discerning intellect to, when thoughts came up, to deflect them and continue back to the stage I was in. So it was really lovely practice. Thank you.
Beautiful. I love that you use the discerning intellect to drop the thoughts that were distracting you. Yes, we have to apply that in meditation. Thought is coming, how can I control it? That stage is over. Beautifully said. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good, thank you. The meditation was deep, really relaxing, calm, and the mind went to that the practice is much more about the emptying and the undoing and the letting go, not to attain or get somewhere or receive anything. What we're looking for, we already have. We just have to unveil it, uncover it, know it, and then we live into that. And then come what may, it doesn't matter.
Yes. You both have the similar experiences. You extended the definition of discerning intellect. Whatever is happening, let it happen, not at all concerned. Why? Discerning intellect has a tremendous faith. We are what we are. Beautifully said. Terry, you want to share?
Each stage, I felt like I didn't have enough time in each phase.
Yes. We will spend minimum 5 minutes on each step in the following week, and we will see that it should be practiced. So if we are able to endure that 70 minutes, what a good thing it is. We will do that. Barbara, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. My meditation was very deep and very calm. You've defined the steps leading up to the niyas almost in every session, but for some reason today it really registered with me, and I followed them completely, and I felt so much. It was just so much deeper.
Beautifully said. You said that I explained it clearly in this session. There is another expression that your mind, your mood and the mood of the mind was highly receptive today. It is, you are responsible for it. This is what happens. How are you, Dennis?
The meditation for me was peaceful, calm, and joyful. the mind was very much focused inside and enjoying the space inside, not really caring about thoughts, experiences, and anything else outside, and was ready to stay in meditation for much longer. Thank you.
Beautiful. Yes, yes, you could have stayed for a longer. Now you all have to think before the next session. Can we recognize that isness in that emptiness? Or emptiness also dissolves and it gives rise to the state of being? Not now. Yes, Stephen. Then we'll go to Brandy. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. My meditation was extremely calm and peaceful. Thank you.
Beautiful. Yes, calm and peaceful should remain throughout the day. It means throughout the day we are in the state of meditation. How are you, Brandy?
Good, thank you. It took me most of the steps to get to where I wanted to be in my meditation today, but I got there.
Beautiful. It means I should always give the practice in stages. I will remind you so that you remember. Yes, it's my fault. I was not doing it. I will do it. How are you, Weber?
Thank you, sir. Sir, the experience was like that. The thoughts which were running in my mind before starting the practice, after like the practice is over, there is a distance which is being created with those thoughts. And when I was like now, when I open my eyes, and again when those thoughts are coming, mind already knows that the piece is here, not in that thoughts. So it stops those thoughts automatically. Like it's not bringing those thoughts again, and it remain in that peaceful state.
Beautiful. That's a very good example. What is saying that, say that mind, during the practice of meditation, your mind said, oh, you are crazy. And now because of the discernment, you got rid of that thought. Now you are out of the meditation and mind still says you are crazy. Now it doesn't impact you. That will bring the change in behavior and attitude. I'm making it simpler. So beautifully said. Yes, do you want to say something more?
Sir, the idea of isness, I need little more clarification on that. That is not clear to me. What is isness?
Yeah, we are doing it. We are doing it. It is a state of the being. This week you contemplate on it, a state of being and becoming. We are bringing that. How are you, Sangeeta?
सर मन कई बार बाहर आउटसाइड वर्ल्ड के साथ चलने लगता है, तो पहले तो बह जाता था, लेकिन अब वहीं पे कंट्रोल हो जाता है कि अब पीस सबसे ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है।
Yeah.
तो कंट्रोल अब आ गया।
You see, we should all have these experiences as everyone shares differently. What she is saying, she is raising a beautiful point. You are upset with a guy and you meet that guy every day. I'm just explaining her example. Now you are also practicing meditation. So today you practice meditation and you are meeting the guy. So the mind with that raise, with that mood, and the mood it was going before, it withdraws itself, it settles within, it says, okay, I have to do nothing, whether you are crazy or not. That is also a state of calmness. I believe you have understood. That is what she's saying. Yes, you might not have heard me, Ashok, but anyhow, how are you?
Sir, namaste.
There must be one person in a group, because that reminds you also that, whether I should, he is saying, teacher is saying nothing, so I should also fall into sleep. That is one option. And second option, you already know it. But then there is a third option that doctor who is attending my session, he has been complaining why I fall into sleep. I have to know the answer. But Ashok is enjoying. Very good. That is all.
That nowadays I am doing that prayer, like prayer.
Prayer in sleep. Okay.
नहीं, pray in the morning and whenever I mean मेरे को remind हो जाता है ना कि तो मैं उसको बार-बार उसको prayer को करता हूँ. And the 6 treasures. So I was in a project for the last 2 days and getting some difficulties. So I was again and again going to those 6 treasures. Use the knowledge, use the instrumentum, and it will automatically sort it out.
You are continuing Mangala Charan for the last 2 days. Continuity is very good. Continue it.
ठीक है.
Stop it.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste, sir. Thank you, everyone. Namaste,
Thank
everyone.
you. Namaste.
Namaste.